If you've ever put yourself in a room full of multimillionaires, what are you going to learn and what are you going to do about it? Becoming comfortable with the uncomfortable. Well, I did that. I put myself in a room full of real estate professionals in a conference where multimillionaires were speaking and giving game on how to escape the middle, how to escape the grind. And so in this episode, I am going to tell you what I learned from multimillionaires and what I'm going to do about it. So let's jump into it. This is from Las Vegas, Nevada. It's called the Ford event with Neil Dingra. And so on day one, this is the book. It's called Escape the Middle. I am literally just going to go through what I wrote. These are my notes of what I learned from each one of these multimillionaires. So let's start. The first person that I'm going to start with is Sharon. He is the CEO of acquisition.com, working with Alex and Layla Hormozy. So one of the things that hit me that is said is, what would I like to do today? Having the freedom to choose what you would like to do today. So rather than just him giving us all this fluff about stuff, he decided to show us how to make passive and active income. So if you're creative and you're making active income by your job or by your business, you have to figure out, how do I make passive income? And in doing so, you're figuring out, what would I like to do today? You have an option, you have options, you have a choice, right? And it said ignorance is expensive. And so this is what I learned about what I'm going to do, is learn and execute what I could do to get passive stream of income. Okay, so I mean, I'm already doing stuff in the stock market, but there's so much more that you could do and things that you could learn from these multimillionaires and billionaires that are doing it, the one percenters. The way they do it is so much different. The game is different. And this is why I put myself in a room full of people that have nothing to do with my industry. Like, yes, I could potentially get real estate agents, but that's not my industry as far as like video goes. But I'm putting myself in those rooms because I want to learn from all these other people on stage and get the opportunity to ask them questions in the downtime, which I'll get to. The next person that I'm going to go to is Neil Dingra. He's the host of the day, right? And something that he said was becoming the person in pursuit of premium. So pursuing premium. Clarity comes when you commit. Most of the times we think that we're going to be clear before we commit. But no, you actually have to commit and then you become clear. And so this is what I'm going to do about it. I'm going to put myself in more rooms to have more opportunities, to do more, to become the person. And that person is me growing as a business owner. You know, a lot of times when we're working with creatives or when we're creative, is we understand the creative journey. We understand what it takes to learn our craft and our skill. And most of the time, you are very, very talented and at the skill. But the other side of it, especially when it comes to having a creative business, is we're creatives, but the business side of it is where it becomes jumbled, where you become jumbled. And so you have to commit to get after it and then get clear. That's something I've been working with my business coach, Omar El Takori, is I don't need to know every single detail of the program that I'm building, but I need to get clear, or I need to commit to what I'm doing, and then I'll get clarity. And so the program that I'm putting out is called the Creative Business Accelerator. I'm going to put the link in the description if you would like to get clear and understand like the business that you were created for. There's so many things that intercept to understand the business as a creative that you were created to do. And then from there, you take this assessment called the creative type, the 7 creative types. And from there, you understand your creative type and the way you were wired to create and build your business. Then we'll create your positioning from there, your offers, the pricing, and then the type of clients that you actually need to attract. So if you want to fill out the application, check the link below, fill it out, we'll jump on a call, and then from there, we'll figure out if we're meant to work together. So Neil Dingra had a lot of gems in his talk about positioning, about perspective, about connecting. There was so much in there, but the one thing that I'm taking from it is clarity comes when you commit. So you have to commit to what you're doing first and then get clear. A lot of times we think, oh, I need to be clear. This I need to choose which, no, commit to what you're doing. This is what I'm doing regardless, and just go after it. And as you're doing it, clarity comes. So that's what I'm taking with it. Then another person that I met, I want to go to the back of this real quick. It was Chris Doe. In the creative community, we know Chris Doe. I met him last year, but this year I was able to have a true conversation with him as well. But when he was on stage, the thing that he said was, "The words I use will change my life." You have to sound like yourself, but the words you use will change your life. And so, therefore, I need to change my words in order to change my life. You need to change your words in order to change your life. And this is what I've already been doing. I'm changing the way that I speak. I'm communicating better, as I mess up the word communicate, So I'm communicating better in order to change my life and to do the things that I know that God put inside of me to do. And so that's something that you should be doing too. Read books, listen to podcasts, listen to people speak, listen to people talk, listen to people communicate. The way they communicate, the words that they choose to say is actually very important, and that's going to change your life. I also got to have a conversation with him as we were walking down the lobby. I was taking some videos and I saw him walking, and I just went up to him, introduced myself, like, "Hey, my name's Akin, Chris Doe." And I asked him a couple of questions. Like I said, I'm a creative in a room full of real estate agent. Why is it important for creatives to put themselves in such a room like this, and how should it stand out? He said for him, it's fashion. He dresses as a creative, so a lot of people see him and they're saying, he's someone different. Maybe I should go talk to him. So the whole thing is about positioning yourself and attracting the clients for you. And he said fashion is like a business card to him. He doesn't have to go find the people. He just attracts the people by who he is. So that's even a bigger lesson, is like, who are you? What are the words you're putting out? And therefore, you attract the clients that way. So that was Chris Doe. Next person I'm going to talk about is Vanessa Van Edwards. This is my first time ever hearing about her. And she's, I actually resonated with her because I think she comes from a psychology background. I have a psychology background as well. So a lot of things that she said. So one thing that she said was uncover expert power. What is expert power? Expert power is your skill, your knowledge, and your personality all built into one. So what is your expert power? That's something that I try to do with the 7 creative types that I created. It's almost like knowing your creative self, and you're able to unlock more about who you are. Again, the link is down there. If you want to take the assessment, you'll be able to know your type of creative. So unlocking and uncover expert power. And again, it is that skill, knowledge, and personality. So again, this is what I wrote, that creative type is an expert power. And it was after this conference that I released my 7 creative types, something I've been working on for like the past 3 years. But this made it just clear that I am on the right direction. And so I just did it. And even as I'm doing it, I'm getting it more clear. So commit, get clear. But we're also talking about liking people. If you want people to like you, you have to become more likable. And we did this test with her just about if you're more of a warmth person or if you're more of a competent person. And a lot of people go towards warmth or competent, but where she wants us to be is in the middle. I feel like I'm more in the middle, even though she asked us 5 questions. So you have to jump on one regardless. I was more warm than I am competent, but I'm definitely more closer to the middle of a lot of things. So that's Vanessa Van Edwards. The next person I'm going to go to is Daniel Priestley. We all know that name. Daniel Priestley has been on Diary of the CEO, I think 8 times. I also got to be in a smaller mastermind with him, with my coach the day before with Omar Otokori, just talking about where content is going, AI is going, and things like that. And, his breakdown is doing short form content, long form content, and then lead form. So short form content leads to lead, long form content leads to the lead form that people fill out for you. And so one thing that he said is, people notice you for the first time when they see you for the 11th time within 90 days. And that's specific. People might just consume your short form content. They might see you over and over, but they don't notice you until the 11th time within 90 days. It has to be inside of those 90 days, not outside of it. And so for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put myself out there more, give myself more chances to be noticed. So create more content that people can see within 90 days. That way they can notice me for the first time after they've seen me for the 11th time within the 90 days, and giving myself more chances. This is something that I also learned in the book of Ecclesiastes and the Bible, in the scriptures of the Bible. And it says, like, almost like life is full of chances. So if you give yourself more opportunities and chances to be found and for people to find you and your business, then you get to be able to work with more people. So content is that way sometimes, is you're becoming omnipresent. No one is omnipresent besides God, but you're putting yourself out there where your content is working for you while you're sleeping. Videos like this, YouTube videos, short form content on Instagram, it's working for you while you're sleeping. So that's one thing that I learned from Daniel Priestley. Social media has changed from being social to interest based, and now it's on semantics algorithm. So everything that I'm saying right now, YouTube understands. Instagram understands. You see, when you post short form content, it gives you like a little statement about what you posted. And you're like, that is exactly what I posted. So now the algorithm is finding those specific people for you. And so you might get less views, but you're getting the right views of people that actually would like to work with you. So Daniel Priestley. And the next person I'm going to go to is Ryan Leake. Man, I love Ryan Leake. I love listening to him talk. Love watching his content. He talked about the 1%er habits. And had all these stories about like Oprah Winfrey and people like that that he is, I had podcasts with and things like that. But the thing that is said is there's levels to this thing. When you think that you're at this level, there's someone else killing it at this level. So again, you can't get comfortable. Get comfortable with the uncomfortable, right? It also said trust that gets you chosen. Experts are expensive, but amateur will cost you a fortune. So ask your question, are you an expert or are you an amateur at what you do? One way to find out is by taking the 7 creative types. Again, it shows you where you are, the way you're wired as a creative. Link is down in the description. And what I'm going to do about it is surround myself with other 1%ers. When you change your surroundings, you change your life. You change who you are. An expert is excellent in everything that they do. So being an expert doesn't mean you're perfect. It means you're excellent. And those are two different things. You could be excellent and not perfect. No one is ever going to be perfect. You are never going to be perfect in anything you do. So don't chase perfection. Chase excellence. And that will put you in the 1% of things and people. And so, Ryan Leake, yeah. And then going into day 2, we already talked about Chris Doe. And then the next person I'm going to talk about is Macy McNeely. She is part of the Sales Girls. You might have heard her already speak. I don't know, you might have seen her content. But again, I also had her at the mastermind the day before with my coach, Omar Tokori, talking about sales. And again, it comes down to who you are. Who are you becoming is more important than the things that you're doing. Because when you're able to grow as a person, you're able to change your words, you're able to change your surroundings, and then those change and really separate the way that you choose to sell. I was doing a quick sales call yesterday, and in real life, literally, some of the things that I learned came right then and there. Again, the more you surround yourself with things like this, the more you actually change what you're doing. A lot of times with creatives, when we're selling and there's an objection like, oh, why is your price higher? That's what happened to me. Why is my price higher? And I was going down the path of, oh, because of this, because of, the people that are coming to shoot. And I paused myself right then and there. And I said, that's the price because my price went up. I know we haven't worked together in 6 months, but my price went up. And that's the price. And they were just like, okay, so rather than trying to justify this and that, even Chris Doe talks about this, is just say the price and shut up. Say the price and don't say anything. A lot of times we try to justify it because either we're not confident in the price or we're trying to make sure that we'll close the deal. And then we'll become so desperate for it that we actually lose the client. So don't lose the client. Just say your price, and it's your price because it's your price. That's what it is, right? And so one thing that she said is persuade. It's to advise to completion. When you're selling, you're persuading someone, not necessarily to buy from you, but for them to have advice and to complete something. Whether or not they go with you or they go with someone else, maybe you can't do the thing, but you could refer them to someone else. Maybe you're not the right option for them, but you could refer them to someone else. It's not about you, it's about the person. It's about them. It's about them and giving them the advice that they need. You're the expert, but you have to speak their language. So that is what I learned from Macy McNeely. Now to go to Brian Miller. Brian Miller was about communication that works. And in speaking, communication is about connecting. So when I communicate, I want to be able to connect with you. When you communicate, you want to be able to connect with your audience. And that's what we need to learn how to do, to clarify complexity. Don't try to be this smart person online and be complex. No one is going to connect with you and understand what you're saying. You have to be clear. That way they could understand, oh, I get what you're saying. You have to be relevant because it matters to whoever you're speaking to. The reason people listen to you is because it's relevant to them and you're communicating clearly for them to understand and they get it. You have to be able to shift perspectives. And that's a lot of the things that I want to be able to do and understand. And I've found myself doing this now when creating content. There's a lot of things that he went into as to when you are communicating with someone and how to make sure that it's relevant to them in the beginning. Next guest was a surprise guest. It was Layla Hormozi. And everyone, I mean, not everyone, but most people in the business world know who Alex and Layla are. And Alex has been in this conference, I think 2 years ago. And then Layla got to be a surprise guest. And we know, talking about content that builds authority, properly setting expectations when hiring people, you're playing to win and you're helping people to decide. Again, it's one of that. Same with sales. You're helping someone to decide. You're persuading them to decide. Stop thinking and start executing. A lot of times with us creatives, we get in our heads and we want to get the thing so right and so perfect. It's like no one is ever going to get it perfect. My coach Omar says this, that iPhones, they're on this is the 17 Pro. This is the 17th edition of an iPhone. That means they didn't get it perfect on iPhone 1. It has taken them 17 tries to get here. So why are we still not executing the things that we know we're supposed to do? Put a date on the calendar, go do what you need to do, and start executing. If not, you're going to look back a year from now and you're still stuck where you are today. So go execute and stop overthinking. Take calculated risk. That's something that she said. When you are playing to win, you have to continue to take calculated risk, not just random risk, because that's going to put you at a detriment, but calculated risk. The final guest was Ed Milet. And something that I talked about is life will give you what you're willing to fight for. So you have to fight for what you want. It went through the story of making sure that you are looking at the people around you and you're having conversations with those people that most people are not having conversations with. Like the person at the airport, the person that drove your Uber, the person that cleaned your hotel. Are you nice to them? Are you a good person to those people? Because people usually don't see them. They see through them. And so it talked about this element of looking around and doing right to the people that no one else sees. So that's what you have to do. Just be a good person in this world. This man talked about how he has so much cash, more than anyone. Like people may have more assets, but he has more cash than most people. And it's talking about just being a good human being. It's not about building this big business. It's about you becoming the person at the end of the day. That's what I took out of all of this. It's about you as a person. It's about me as a person. Who am I becoming in this pursuit of business? Who am I becoming in the things that I'm doing? If I'm becoming an a-hole in the things that I'm doing, then I'm doing the wrong things. And that's how you should see it too. If you are becoming someone that you don't recognize while you're pursuing business and pursuing happiness and life, then you are doing the wrong thing. Be the person that could be a good person and put good message out there for people to resonate with. And then from there, become the person that could help other people and do the services for other people. At the end of the day, who you become is more important than what you do. So take those messages with you. The things that I've learned from multimillionaires, it wasn't about money. Everything was about you as a person. Like when you become the person, you get to make the type of money that they make and do the things that you want to do. And so it's important to pour into yourself, to invest in yourself, to surround yourself with people that are taking themselves more seriously. Change your surroundings, change your words, change you. So again, if you'd like to be a part of the Creative Business Accelerator, which is a group coaching program for a mentorship for creatives, the application is down below. Take the creative type, know your type first, fill out the application, and then I would love to have a conversation with you to see if you're the right fit and I'm the right fit for you. Other than that, like, subscribe, share this, comment down below the line that hit the hardest for you, and let me know why. I'd love to, continue to chat in the comments below. So until next time, we'll see you. Keep creating, believe in yourself, create, influence other people to do the same thing. Peace.